How's it going, partner? Actually, I don't know if I can hear you. Oh, there you go. Now I can hear you.
Oh, hello, hello,
What?
hello, can you hear me?
Oh, okay. I see. You know what's needed? We need like a sound that's like John Cena doing the "You Can't See Me," and it's like,
Oh,
"You can't hear me." Yeah, I was looking at like the title of the stream.
oh,
I'm
the
like,
stream.
yeah, I was like, wow. I've certainly got a variety of topics to talk about.
Yeah,
This is pretty
it
much what you
should.
did. I'm assuming this is what you do at Karma when you were talking about like um uh whatever the first one was about, and then the second one about the lady and how she got
Yeah.
by.
Well, we didn't plan that, so
Oh,
like
okay.
yeah, it was just like a normal Kirby stream, so I just titled it like Kirby whatever.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, and we just ended up talking about that stuff. So
Ah, what
yeah,
was it like? 10,000 guys in like
it
24
was
hours?
1,000 guys, in I think just under 24 hours.
You know what I'm referring to when I reference that one image where it's like, meet Bubba. This is going to be the guy who rapes you in prison, whatever, for piracy. You
I
know,
think so. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be like super painful. And I'm like thinking, I understand that, that's talking about something a little bit of a different direction than what she's doing, but, you know, uh, yeah. So, by the way, I just, well, actually, I won't talk about it since it's live, but, anyways,
Oh, with the R36S.
was it?
Were you going to say something about the handheld, the R36S?
No, 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 it's something else.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So yeah, I figured
yeah,
this would be the best for the stream. This is kind of a mindless little roguelike game that I could.
I was gonna say like super bullet break. I'm thinking either this is a gal gun like or something else. You know,
That's what I thought when I first heard about it and saw
yeah,
the
kind of
cover
looks
and
like it a
everything.
little bit.
Yeah, actually, I haven't played this in a while, so I don't even gotta remember how this even works. And I apparently I left off in the middle of a run, so
It looks like you're going. I'm just going off the one that's like a computer chip. Um,
yeah,
but it looks like you're like what are you like trying to like take care of viruses on your computer.
it's something like that. It's trying to remember the story is like the characters in the game are like sentient and they're like, hey, we actually need your help, kind of thing.
This is like if this is like I don't know how familiar you are with like older like antivirus programs. But there was one back in the day called Spybot Search and Destroy.
Yeah, I
Um,
think I remember that. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like imagine they just call it that, and it's like Spybot Search and Destroy the game. So
That's basically what the Mega Man Battle Network games are.
oh, I thought that one was like uh Wily.exe or whatever. I know he's not like a computer program. He's like, but he's not Dr. Wily. Their version of him in that universe is like
Yeah,
trying to take over the internet, and it's like not the internet. It's like W free or something like that.
yeah. It's I didn't I have the collection on Switch. I didn't get too far into it yet, but
Yeah,
like basically all the characters, all the Mega Man characters, are like programs basically. They're more like Pokemon than
yeah. That was the impression I always got with like the dual release, like Mega Man, Snake Man Green, and Fireman Red. Top
yeah,
Man Orange. I'm just going off the ones I know for sure. Top Man one
yeah,
I just know from because he's like the one where in Mega Man 3 like one shots the final boss.
Yeah.
Um, it's like one of the more notorious ones. Um, I was like, okay, it's like buff just became bigger there for a second. Um, yeah, Mega Man Battle Network is also what one was it one step from Eden, last step from Eden. Isn't it like kind of a battle system like that?
Yeah, kind of. I think it's yeah, it's like you go into the computer and then you move, then you actually get to control Mega Man and move around and stuff. And then when you run into an enemy, then you go into the battle mode where you.
Yeah, I I've not really played. I've never played the game, but I heard the music. I was like, whoa, like the game's got you got one. It's just one particular track in particular is like really like blows you away.
Yeah.
Blew me away, anyways. At least. Um,
I remember liking all the music. It's been a while since I played it, but I remember liking all the music I heard so far.
yeah, it's one of those games that's in my Steam library, and I'll play it one of these days.
Yeah.
Like all like the was it the happy needy streamer overload game
Oh yeah.
that I
Yeah.
only know exists because there's like a Linux theme around it.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
It's for like KDE, the one desktop environment I was telling you
Oh,
about.
yeah.
That's the one that the Steam Deck uses. Because I know you said something about trying to install Bazite
Oh yeah.
on my
I
home
thought my
computer.
mini PC had like an extra NVMe slot. It turns out it doesn't. Um, so I'll
Oh,
probably just
is it
install
like
it to like
a
an external drive or something.
is it like a different like format NVMe or is it just a different just not NVMe?
No, it's just only one slot. So that's what I have Windows 11 installed on. So
Oh, okay, I was just wondering because I know I like I think the first NVMe I got is like a completely different one from like most of the ones like it's like an 860 something and it's like different from like all the 970s and 980s and the ones you see like
okay.
sold
Yeah.
at stores nowadays.
Yeah. On my main desktop, the one I normally use, it's it takes M2 but not NVMe. So that one's a little harder to find.
Okay, I was gonna say we should have started the stream up because of what's happened to 4chan. What we should have done was start it with taps, from like in the military.
Oh, yeah.
you know, like we honor our fallen comrades, our fellow Kyrgyzstani comrades,
Yeah.
in the great meme wars in the last decade. But that would be like something for like a more produced video.
Yeah. I mean,
I
I
just,
could
I just,
always put something like that in the edit when I clip it out.
yeah, I'm just playing it right now in my just for the effect of it, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, so did you want to start with the 4chan topic or
In honor of our fallen brothers and sisters of Kyrgyzstan, who have served well in the great meme war.
died in the trenches?
We truly thank you for your service. Or maybe they'll come back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Who knows what just happened? So
Yeah.
this last
I did
week,
see their Twitter account. They tweeted out. I forgot what the picture was. They just tweeted out a picture of like Pepe doing something at the computer, I think, and they just said it takes some time. So
what they
I
should have
guess
done
it will be
was like
back up eventually, but might
what
just
they
take a while.
okay, yeah. So what we're talking about is 4chan got hacked in like the worst hack I think ever.
Yeah.
This is going to be something that uh, my co-host Immortalix here is more familiar with than I am because I've always been like aware of 4chan, like the reputation and everything. I've never really browsed the site that much. I've seen like like I've never I would the most I would browse is like usually it'd be like an archive discussion, and not like
Yeah,
the active site itself.
yeah,
But I mean, I know some stuff about some boards, like the G board. It's like they're all about like install Gen 2, delete System 32. You know, ThinkPads are the
yeah,
greatest computers ever made. Um,
yeah. That's like
which
half the threads at any given time on that board.
um, obviously I know about Poll, and I was, you know, as we were doing in the intro. I'm assuming you're gonna edit that in. Um,
Yeah,
uh, all the stuff that has happened like ever since like 2014. I mean, I know it's technically, there's a lot of stuff a lot of that is really like springboard of like stuff from like, you know, that predates like the internet as you and I understand it.
yeah.
Um, Man, I was like just looking away and then like blast my eyes out with how bright that is. Um,
Oh, really?
yeah, yeah, I was just like looking at because I'm trying to look at like the mic, and make sure I'm
Yeah,
speaking at the mic and it's not like coming out like just one side. But anyways, yeah, so 4chan got like the biggest hack ever, and it's been you would know more about what's the history of like 4chan and how it's been hacked and taken down. Um, from what I understand, this is like they exploited some like big giant vulnerability that's been there for like the past like decade, if not more.
yeah,
And yeah, everyone was like, I remember one of the first posts I saw, or maybe you shared this with me, was like, it might actually be over, guys. Like
yeah,
unironically.
yeah. And yeah. So we were sharing with each other, like posts from the Kiwi Farms thread talking about it because that's kind of where everybody went as soon as the news dropped.
Yep.
Because that's kind of like aside from like other obscure image boards, that's kind of like the closest thing you can get to 4chan on another like quote unquote big website is Kiwi Farms. So yeah,
Not
that
even,
was everyone was kind of like immediately like kind of doom posting about it. And of course, people celebrating it and then people just laughing at it, not feeling one way or the other. But yeah, so I heard it was. I remember seeing like a screenshot of the person who did the hack, and they said like exactly what they did, and it sounded like whatever the vulnerability was, it was something like relatively basic in terms of like cybersecurity and stuff like that. And then whatever system they're running all of 4chan off of hasn't been updated since like 2018 or 2019 or something like that.
that's almost a decade.
Yeah,
At least with how time feels like it moves for us, at least for
yeah,
me, anyways. Um, yeah, I mean, you say that. Excuse me. You say that like Kiwi Farm's like the biggest outside of like 4chan. Um,
yeah.
what about like 2chan or do I even name drop 8chan from what
Yeah,
I've heard about? I mean, it's not even. I know it's not even. I know it's not even technically called 8chan anymore.
yeah. I always hear like I'm not super well versed on 8chan because I always hear that it's like it kind of got nuked as well, but it's kind of back in a not like not exactly the way it was, but kind of like a zombified version of it itself or something like that. And yeah,
I
it's
just
not specifically called 8chan anymore. But
I just remember
yeah,
like this was back before when he was before. I guess he was always kind of being cringe, in retrospect. But I remember
yeah,
Review Tech USA. He had like a video about like this, like one of the Dark Siders. I think it was when the third one was coming out.
yeah.
Uh, some developer or PR guy or whoever at THQ, I don't know who, some big shot.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah, he went on there like did like a Q&A session, and I
yeah.
remember like Rich was like, "Look, guys, look, like uh,
That twist that pissed off Twitter so bad. Like people were like reeing at the THQ Twitter like for a whole week because of that.
And it's like, well, that's where that's where all the nerds, geeks, regenerates, generates, degenerates. Who am I kidding? It's the last of those three.
Yeah,
Uh, that's where they hung out, you know.
yeah. And from what I heard, like, because on if you go on 4chan and try to like talk anything about like Gamergate, your thread will get nuked pretty quickly. So
Was
at
this like
8chan was kind of the place that like people went to after that to like they would say at least that they would say, you know, this is the place where you can like talk about that stuff without getting harassed by mods or whatever.
oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I knew like so was it after Gamergate? Is it after the initial Trump victory in 2016 that they, along with like,
So
seems like the rest of the internet, they were like, we must we must prevent disinformation and
yeah,
prevent this like whole meme war campaign thing that he did from ever happening again. You know,
yeah.
was
So
that
I
like
I,
after
I
that
really
or
never like really lurked or like checked out 4chan that much until like late 2017. Before that, I was kind of like you were. Like the only time I would interact with it was like someone would send me a link to it, like an archive thread or
yeah.
something.
Or you like
Um,
you'd hear about like 4chan and like how it's like sport of like alt right,
yeah,
Nazi and racist and every like everything that like the left,
yeah,
frankly, calls everything they don't like, everything that ticks them off, like even with a
yeah,
hint of it, like that's pretty much like what the impression was,
yeah. Like I remember when I was in middle school, the first time I heard of 4chan was like someone told me, like, oh, that's where memes come from. So like I went there to like check it out, and I was looking at the website. I'm like, I have no idea what any of this is. I'm like, where are the memes? Probably spent a total of like 5 minutes on there before I closed it, and then like never went back again until like 2017.
Did you do that like on the school like computer
No, no, no.
network?
I didn't do that at school.
I was gonna say it probably didn't like let you do that. Although I mean, I did hear
Yeah,
like people would like at least at my school network they obviously did the whole like stuff they did, but like people like figured out ways around it. Like they would get on like
yeah.
YouTube and stuff.
Okay.
Um,
I think like the only websites that got blocked when I was in my school at least was like MySpace and Facebook. And at first YouTube wasn't blocked, but then like later on they blocked it.
yeah, probably everyone's watching like AVG and they're like okay, we can't have people saying stuff like shitload of fuck,
Yeah. But they never blocked any websites with Flash games like Newgrounds or anything. So that's usually what we did most of the time in a computer class instead of doing what we were supposed to be doing.
Yeah, I remember playing Super Mario Brothers crossover, playing like
Yeah,
as Bill Reiser or Lance, whatever the other guy's name is from like Contra,
yeah,
um, or like Samus, and then you're like oh crap, I have to like bomb these things because you can't
yeah,
crouch. Um, so yeah, so I know you didn't really follow it until 2017,
yeah.
and so like what was your impression like after you were you more like uh were you like did you like follow it more actively or you know
Really, only on V, the video game board, I would just like go and see what people are saying. Like um, I remember like they had like a sticky thread for like the for when the Game Awards was airing, so they had like a live thread for that. So I
oh
remember being
wow
amused by that. Yeah, and then but yeah, that like I didn't actively post on there all that much, just because like that's probably one of the worst boards for like actual discussion, just because there's always like so many spammers and trolls and schizos trying to
trying to like hijack like discussion
yeah derail the thread discussion, or just like uh, spam and
Well, I mean,
shit up everything.
well, isn't that kind of just like the nature of the site? Like, or
Yeah,
was the nature of the site? You know.
yeah. But like I heard, because um, Kenny Lauderdale, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
I've not really. I don't think I've watched like a full thing of his videos, but I've seen like
yeah.
thumbnails and stuff.
I I know because he deletes a lot of his older stuff now for whatever reason.
Oh,
I remember
really?
when I
Like,
first discovered him, he had he had a video. Um, it was basically he was just like scrolling through V on a CRT. Like he had his
oh
computer
wow,
hooked up to like a
okay.
regular CRT TV, not even a monitor, just a TV.
Oh
Um,
wow, he's like before the current CRT craze. He's the
yeah,
OG.
and the video title was just like "Good Night V" or like "Rest in Peace" or whatever, because I think that was when like the Safe for Work and the NSFW boards like split into like two separate domains, kind of.
Okay.
Um, and like everyone, I remember everyone in in that comment section saying like, "Oh yeah, 4chan used to be so much better. Years ago you could actually talk about stuff. There weren't so many schizos and spammers and stuff." So, but I guess at some point, things used to be uh better, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I just remember you telling me like it used to, like now they have like their mods as well that like also like uh kind of clamp down at anything controversial.
Yeah, like like it like all the Billy Mitchell threads pretty much get deleted after like an hour or so.
Oh wow.
Um,
Yeah, it kind of ties in with some stuff we might get into later here.
yeah, and I apologize if you hear police sirens just now.
I didn't hear anything.
Okay, that's good.
I mean, I had like a vehicle, like a really loud motor vehicle. Like, I mean, I guess they're all like one of those ones where it's like the guys they're compensating for something with their car, I think,
Yeah,
and they're like driving like really fast, and it wasn't like a truck where it's like brrr,
yeah. It's
you know,
like one of those sports cars that sound like the muffler is like firing a gun every 2 seconds.
where it's like more like what muffler.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, well, without saying, well, I'll just say it's also loud for other reasons. Some of it being stuff I could technically kind of control, but also don't want to whenever things get warm. So,
yeah.
um,
Well, I haven't heard anything yet, so I guess
yeah,
Discord's doing its job.
yeah. Um, I was gonna say game over, which is weird because I would think it would be attacking your units, not you itself, unless you and the units are like it's like the Matrix,
So
but you're like
in
your
in this game,
consciousness
I'm
is like
not in this game. I'm not like sucked into the game. Like my character is still physically playing her Game Boy or whatever.
oh, okay.
Yeah, but the people in the game are like, we need your help. The viruses are bad.
Okay, well, guess they're playing with the isekai rule somehow.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. So yeah, 4chan. Yeah. I mean, we'll see if it
oh
sticks around.
yeah. I think the biggest takeaway from the hack is all the information on the mods that came out.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like everything. Like you might
yeah,
think like oh it's like because 4chan the thing is like the whole reputation is like you're anonymous. That's why they say like anon or
yeah.
whatever. But I don't think like you got to think like the internet was made by the military. I mean, originally it was like called ARPANET,
Yeah,
because it was literally made by the DARPA. If
yeah,
you guys know like Metal Gear Solid One, the DARPA chief. You know,
yeah,
um, and I say that DARPA like I remember what the acronym means, and I don't know unless I feel like doing a Google search, which I do not. So, but
dang assholes researching porn after.
there you go. I what he said, yeah. Um, but yeah, so I mean, the whole idea of like being anonymous on the internet, it's I know I'm sure someone could do that, but you have to probably be like pom pom purin and I don't think I think he's in prison these days, along with like that one buddy of his for certain things I don't think should be well just will mention. Um,
Yeah.
but anyways, uh, so yeah, yeah, everything came out like it's not just their email, like their address, their phone number, um,
And
like
some of them were stupid enough to use like their college email addresses to
well,
make their accounts and stuff.
well, my thinking is like, okay, they're probably using it because they're thinking like, oh, eventually they'll like delete the college, and it's not their actual like personal email. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, but even then, like, at least use like, granted, I don't know how private. Again, this is kind of goes back to my point about privacy. Like, maybe try like Proton Mail or something. You know?
Yeah. Well, they have this is a recent thing. Like late last year, they added this thing where, um, before you post, for the first time before you post on your IP address, you have to wait 900 seconds. That was like a strategy to like deal with spam. Supposedly, I don't think it really worked all that well. It just, just made people annoyed. But they let you bypass that if you verify your email, but they wouldn't let you use Proton Mail.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's how
they're
they
like,
get
oh, it
around
has to
that.
be like a Gmail or like a Microsoft email.
Or even like host your own email server.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So it's like, come on, guys. Like, you really want that? Like, you want my legit email? No, thank you.
yeah, like gee, why would you like? Why do you want asking for this information?
Yeah. And then we also found out from the leaks that when you do get banned for something, there's the given reason that you see on your end once you get banned,
And
but
then
the
there's the
mods,
one internally.
yeah, the mods have their private reasons that they amongst themselves see, which can be filled with all sorts of like stupid petty shit.
Like,
And
oh, I'm not a fan of the Minnesota Vikings, so
yeah,
I'm banning user
yeah.
Vikings fan
Yeah, this
69
guy makes a
game.
Vikings thread every week, and that's gay. So do not lift his ban.
Yeah, yeah,
And that's literally like how petty some of the things have been that people have seen.
yeah, yeah. And it's like what wasn't like one of them like in Malaysia or something, like one of the mods or something like that, or
Yeah,
Indonesia.
yeah. There's a bunch there's like a whole bunch of like um, Southeast Asian mods, particularly for like all the boards like pertaining to like anime and VTubers and stuff. And
I guess that kind of makes sense.
yeah, and especially on the VTuber board, they get really defensive. Like sometimes it's as simple as like saying something negative about a certain VTuber, and they'll ban you. And the reason they'll give is like, oh, you revealed their personal information, and it's like, all I said is I don't like them. Like,
Okay. Like,
yeah, like that's the reason they'll give you is, oh, you revealed their personal information, which is against the rules on this board.
like unless you know the person in real life by sheer happenstance, like
Yeah,
a certain Ichiban Kasuga, from what I understand, of like goes down in Yakuza 8.
yeah,
Like how would you know? How would you know that about them? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not even joking about that. One of the party members is like this VTuber who spread this
Oh,
rumor
really?
that gets like Ichiban. It like gets him. He talks about like how he's like a former Yakuza, and then like that's how it basically like gets. That's basically like the inciting incident to get him into like the whole conspiracy,
Oh,
you know, as well as
yeah,
Kiryu, who's suffering from cancer because I don't even remember. I think it's like he's like working on some nuclear display. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. It gets complicated, and it's like, okay, this is Kiryu's I know this is kind of going off on a tangent, but this is Kiryu's number, like his third time, like his final game, guys. He's totally gonna be dead. You know,
Yeah.
I'm sure that his voice is Takaya Kuroda is certainly not looking for a paycheck for Yakuza 9. You know,
Yeah.
I was looking at the enemy you're fighting, and she looks like something that could be in like a good quality like RPG maker enemy or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. So some of the art in this game is actually like, because this is like probably like a cheap little budget title for them, probably
Yeah.
because it is from the same publisher as Galgun. Um,
Oh, okay. That probably explains why it looks similar a
yeah. But
little
yeah,
bit.
but some of these designs are actually pretty good. And the the version I bought was like a special edition, so it came with the little art book and stuff. And I didn't know this, but prior to buying it, anyways, I didn't know this, but like in part of the art book, it has a little note from the localizer, and
Okay.
there's part of the game where like the characters send text to each other, and the localizer was like, "Oh, this was so fun making up all these texts from taken from my personal experience," and it's like, "Oh wow!" So you basically just like
You
ignored
didn't
all the
actually
Japanese
translate it.
text. Yeah, you just ignored all the Japanese text and based, all these moments around like your chat history with your localizer buddies or whatever.
Motivation to study Japanese more consistently
Yeah,
rises.
yeah,
That way you can just, I mean, you can just like play it in the actual Japanese, and maybe even possibly do like a Let's Play channel or something where you're playing
yeah,
it, and maybe you know, but no, that would be kind of a crazy idea, but
yeah.
uh, but yeah, I don't know what else because I'm trying to remember like other than like their information getting posted out to every paste bin and wherever else in the dark
Yeah,
web probably as well. Um, like what else there is to really say because it just happened this last week. Um,
yeah.
you know,
So I think that's the gist of it, really. And the whole mod thing, that's probably the biggest part. And
which honestly
there's
I wouldn't
people
be
who
good.
there's people who who obviously miss the site a lot and can't wait to get back on. But for me, it's like, man, after basically like having everything that I thought was happening confirmed by these leaks about the mods, it's like, man, I don't know if I wanna if I care to go back,
Yeah, I imagine a lot of sites like any forum ever probably does the same sort of thing where they ban people for stupid reasons like that.
Yeah, I mean, if
And they have like
anyone's in a
private
Discord, like
stuff.
that basically happens in every Discord. Like the moderators just get drunk with power and they have their biases and they'll ban people for stupid reasons.
Yep. Um, but anyways, yeah. So, um, what else? So I think that we can finally say that a certain lawyer has got his I'm butchering it. I was mixing it up with like the Cheetah Men theme because I see
Oh,
all those
I,
like
I think
remixes.
Discord like thought you were you were making noise and it just like I didn't even hear half of that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm assuming there's like a like how like there's dead zone on like joist and like analog sticks and stuff.
Yeah.
It's something like that with like voice. But yeah, I was trying to do like the cornered theme, and I initially
Uh,
started doing like the Cheetah Men theme because
yeah.
there's all those like remixes where they mix the cornered and Cheetah Men theme together.
Yeah.
So we have this, and again, this is another case where I feel like all the stuff we're going to be talking about is like stuff you have a little bit more familiar. You're closer to knowing what's going on
Yeah.
than I do.
Yeah, before he went crazy, I used to be a fan of Rekieta, and I used to years ago I used to work overnight, and his stream would happen like exactly when I would have downtime during my job, so I would at least be able to catch like like a little chunk of it at work every night.
Works
And
out. Very convenient.
yeah, and that was years ago, back before he went insane.
Yeah, to say the
So
least.
yeah. So to
And
watch
in
his
like
like,
in like world record time, like you know how they have AGDQ? They should have
yeah,
ACDQ. Uh, uh, Awful careers done quick.
yeah. Oh, that applies to someone else we might talk about as well.
Uh, oh yes, yes. Right. I'm not even like consciously doing that, and it's just like doing
Yeah,
it, just linking it all together.
yeah. So yeah, it was a real disappointment to watch him just like slide into, I don't even know what you want to call it, because degeneracy is, I feel, too soft of a word
Um,
uh to describe it. But
like giving himself over to like every urge
yeah,
because he has the money and the people who he's associated with. I mean, it's not like he's Jeffrey Epstein. He's not like certain people who have totally
yeah,
not killed themselves. Um,
yeah.
Before we get this video absolutely like sent to the shadow zone, or the stream, more like, um, um,
Before Nick
you know,
sues us with the money he doesn't have anymore.
well, yeah. Anyways, talking about suing and man, we're just like the synchronicity is all over the place, guys. Um,
Yeah,
but yeah, so Nick Rakita, because the crazy thing is, from my understand, like he had a pretty religious like upbringing. From my understanding.
yep. He
Um,
was raised pretty religious. I don't remember if it was Catholic exactly, but I think he goes to a Catholic. Oh no, I think he was like raised. He goes to a Protestant church now, I think. I could be wrong on that,
yeah,
but
yeah. I
it's
mean,
between that and Catholicism is what he's been between.
I mean, a lot. I mean, people use terms like Protestant and stuff, and it depends on what you mean. But usually, I mean, Protestants. They have their own. They have a whole spectrum of beliefs compared to like Catholics, and I guess it's like the hot uh, variation of like Christianity on the internet nowadays is orthodoxy. Like their beliefs are kind of like consistent, whereas Protestantism is kind of like
Oh yeah, because that's like the, I guess, quote unquote conservative version. Well, relatively compared to all the other denominations and how they operate in 2025.
well, it's just you say that, but I'll just say there's like there's this one lady I saw in this one group, and like in the last like ever since Trump got elected, she made
Yeah.
some posts of like free Palestine and stuff like that.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
like actually even before that, now that I think about it, and then like whenever Zelensky did that whole thing where was it like negotiation attempt number 3 or something like that, where Zelensky
Yeah.
like came to the White House and like made like a big scene and everything.
Did you say thank you even once?
Yeah, I think I remember that was like that got name dropped. But anyway, like after
Yeah.
that, she posted on her Facebook profile like free Ukraine or something like that. I hope that I don't even remember what she said. But the crazy thing is, here's the crazy thing. She she this lady is like literally like in my town,
Oh,
almost like in my city. Like, well, it's not exactly
yeah.
the same city, but it was like crazy. Like oh wow, and
Yeah.
people act like orthodoxy is so based in red pilled, man. It's Christ pilled. You just gotta.
Yeah.
It's your solution to everything, man. Like, and it's like, you sure about that?
Yeah.
you know. So, yeah. So yeah, he's like probably raised Protestant. And Rakita. So, and obviously, just because someone gets raised, I mean, obviously, people can, especially as they get older, usually they break off from that upbringing slash belief system.
Yeah,
But
and
I think
that's usually what you see a lot, and I think that's what he wanted to do. But I mean, this whole time he always goes to church, and then he used to teach um as, in part of like the homeschool co-op that his church did as well. Um,
like they teach like legal studies or whatever.
I think he taught like history or something.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. Um, and I, because I think I told you that like he was basically like a trust fund kid.
Oh yeah, I think I knew something like yeah. He was like basically like
Yeah,
he's living life on easy mode.
yeah, and I think like part of I guess there was like conditions for the trust, and I guess part of that was like having a wife and multiple kids, and then also going to church, taking them to church, and basically staying in the church as well. So
Yeah,
I
which
feel like a lot of that stuff a lot of the religious stuff he did was begrudgingly.
yeah. I mean, whenever you do that, do it like that. It's like I don't know. I have my thoughts on that idea. Not which, anyways, I don't. That's kind of going off the rails there. But yeah. So Nicholas Rakita, he does all this. He has like was it like 4 or 5 kids, or I know
Five
he's
kids,
got.
and I'm not sure on it because he's talked about it in like kind of vague terms, but I think they also like adopted a kid at some point, but then they didn't. It wasn't like a permanent thing.
Oh, okay. It's probably who knows. That one kid might have lucked out, all things
Yeah,
considered, because
yeah,
I mean, granted, at this point, it's. I mean, it's not. We're not even really saying it. We're just kind of summarizing for those few maybe I don't know about Rakita, because there's a lot of already people, a lot of people who've like talked about everything that's happened. Like everyone like whenever all this stuff started coming out about like all this like the insane stuff, he just threw himself out at. Not just
yeah,
himself, but he also got his wife involved and other like couples like of his friends involved.
yeah.
Um, like they just like drugs.
Mountains of cocaine.
Yes. Hopefully YouTube doesn't go crazy, don't go full aggro on us on with that. I
Yeah,
mean, with your pronunciation, maybe it'll maybe we'll trick the system. um, but yeah, so yeah, it's that and like swinging, like just absolute like they just like let themselves go.
yeah,
And from what I understand, like he like the substance you mentioned earlier, like he just had it like in his room, and I think one of his kids, like one of the older ones, I think, um, like got exposed to it. I think, like I don't
one
know
of
if
the
it.
younger ones actually.
Oh, okay. I can't remember if it was the older or younger one.
Yeah, it was his daughter. She tested positive for it.
Which is like Jesus. I don't even,
Yeah,
you know.
and apparently like he had like a little portable safe that he kept it in, and he would like move that around, but it would usually be in his room. Um, which isn't that far from his kid's room. And then there was this whole other thing too, where like he wanted to like add an extension to the house and basically like build a new room that would be like a sex dungeon, and that would be like right next to his kid's room.
Yeah. Um. That's that just speaks for itself.
Yeah,
You know,
shouldn't have to
like
explain why that's
to how like
not good.
depraved this guy was getting.
Yeah,
You know,
and like
like
I heard like he had met with like the contractor or whatever, and the contractor was like, "No, what's wrong with you?"
like you would think the guy would. I'm assuming I don't even want to think of like what he was thinking, like because you think the guy would. I don't. I don't know. It's one of those things that so boggles the mind to like for someone to think that low,
Yeah,
to think to this level. Um, like you think at least the wife would have said something like, you know, as I understand, the wife was not like a trust fund kid.
No. Yeah, she's fairly normal as far as things go. From what I heard, she's um, just on medication for, you know, whatever mental illnesses or conditions she might have or whatever. But
So
yeah,
that's I can already imagine like that not being like I can imagine like Rakita possibly you like working around that and exploiting her in that regard.
probably. From from what I've heard over from different accounts over the years is she does like the bare minimum. Like she doesn't. I mean, I guess she does, but like if she can avoid it, like she doesn't really like drive the kids anywhere. Like if the kids have to be dropped off somewhere, Nick takes care of that, or their nanny takes care of that. And
Whoa, they have
yeah,
their own. Wow, I didn't
yeah,
know they were
and
that
she
well
doesn't work
off.
either. So like, so she's a stay-at-home wife, but they also need a nanny. So like,
And it's like you think like, okay, this guy, you know, before he gave in to his urges, I mean, think about it. You have all the money in the world. Yes, you have to go to church and all that, whatever. Just, I mean, honestly, I just say right now, I think most people who are not like actually into it,
yeah,
they're mostly going for the social experience. Um,
yeah,
there's actually an article. It's not on his site, like current site. You have to go on an archive version of his site. Um, Luke Smith, he actually has an article or had like a blog post where he says like, you know, why do you think most people are turning into like atheists? And, like, well, we're turning into atheists. I don't know so much. I don't know if the whole angry atheist thing is like something that happened that continues to this day anymore. Like to the same extent as it did like back in the 2000s.
yeah,
Um, um, like you know, people who like don't have friends, they don't like go out. Um, you know, they don't have like any like um connection, I guess, to like their traditions or whatever. Um,
yeah,
like you know, that's kind of the main like I guess social fabric that one would need to like be at it to that that's kind of like the fabric that kind of keeps the whole like thing of like church tied together,
yeah,
at least how it is in the United States. And I kind of would say I kind of like I would in my observation I would say that's kind of something I kind of feel holds up. Um, and obviously, you know, I'm talking about someone who speaks using language way like I don't know how I don't know how much of like Luke Smith's like stuff you watch or listen to or whatever, but like he uses like language that's like whoa, this guy is like 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 I wish I could talk to people like this, you know, using words like this because it sounds like he has like a lot of stuff to say, even if I don't
yeah.
necessarily agree with some of the stuff he says because I think some of it's kind of like some of the stuff I'm like kind of like okay, I don't think I got as hooked onto video games and some of the stuff as hard as he did. Um,
Yeah.
you know, in the way that he like speaks about it, anyways. Um, but yeah, so yeah, and I think that all that is to say, Nick, I think here he's just putting up with it just so he can have the money, and he has, and that thing. If you have all the money in the world, you have a wife, you have kids, you have everything you like. You think a man would want, like a decent, you know,
Yeah.
upstanding, like regular, mostly normal guy would want. You know, and obviously
Not
there's
to
going to be some
mention
variation in
like
you know
after he
what
he
that
blew
means.
up on YouTube and like got rich from his Rumble deal and stuff, you would think like he would not care about the trust fund anymore. He'd be like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
I
I
mean,
can be financially independent now, so I don't need that anymore."
well,
So,
I mean, the thing is, I mean, one would think that, but I don't know how much like YouTube actually like pays and stuff. I mean, I know there's like
well, when
Patreon
he
and like
got
other
when he got
stuff,
the deal with Rumble, it was $1 million for the year.
like just a million. Like if he like say stashed all of it away, you know, obviously he has to pay for the bills, like you know, food and you know whatever else needs to be paid for.
Yeah.
But like he's like
Uh,
all good. otherwise.
Like I assume like because this is when he got that million. This is like when he started like really sliding into degeneracy and stuff. But assuming he didn't do that and he kept up with it, Rumble probably would have kept making the same or similar deal with him every year. So that would have been a million, or if not, maybe a couple 100,000 every year.
Yeah, I mean, I know a million's not worth as much as it was like back in the 80s or 90s, but
Yeah,
I mean, it's still $1 million, you know.
yeah. And if you could secure that on your own by yourself, I would say you are financially independent and you
Yeah,
don't
and
need a
you
trust
know,
fund.
and you think about like you think about like politicians or like not even politicians, like people who like work for politicians and stuff,
Yeah,
who they get involved in things like what is it? Like there's like like a certain individual I mentioned earlier, like blackmail stuff, but
yeah,
they get all this money and support from the guy, you know, like if you get $1 million, there's no like weird, no weird like like oh we need to produce blackmail material on you, so we have control over you, or I have control over you, depending on who you think they are, um,
yeah,
because I know everyone on the internet has their. I don't. And again, I don't know how much of this that is like LARPing. I don't know how much of it is people trolling, or some people
yeah,
are just there's it's when they're getting into like conspiracy land, it gets like it's like everyone's theories that are all like backed up by like different facts and various interpretations of the facts. Anyways, um,
yeah,
so so Nicholas Rakita, he has everything a man could want, and yet what's he go and do with it? He goes and like ruins his absolute reputation. Just speed runs,
yeah.
his way to the bottom socially. I'm sure the guy still has plenty of money even after all the legal proceedings and stuff. Um,
I mean,
unless
at least from
you know,
what I've heard from like Kino Casino and Kiwi Farms coverage and stuff,
yeah.
it sounds like he's basically, if he's not broke, he's close to being broke because
Oh,
he
really?
hired,
Okay.
yeah, because he hired a very expensive lawyer and then didn't really listen to that lawyer, and
Ooh.
then of course, all the money he spent on drugs and whatnot. I think, I mean, I don't know if it's true, but one of his friends just kind of like loose lipped it and was like, "Oh yeah, he's spending like 10K a month on this stuff." Um,
10 grand a month. Wow.
yeah, and then he bought like at one point he bought like some other painting for like 10K or more, and it wasn't even
Oh,
like that good of a painting.
uh, paintings for 10K, huh?
Yeah, no, like it actually was a painting because he showed it off in stream on stream.
Oh,
But
okay. Because I'm like thinking of
yeah,
some other stuff I sort of
yeah,
mentioned that without name dropping any people or any
yeah,
things or anything that have come out about
yeah,
certain people in power.
yeah,
Um,
and then I think like the week he got that Rumble deal, like he went out and bought like it was like a Dodge Charger or Viper or something like that, and like on the day he bought it, got into an accident with it.
just like just made himself a wildly bad or mildly bad driver's video while
Yeah,
you know what that reminds me of. I was earlier today. I was getting something at the store. I already told you about it, like before we streamed. I was like walking by, and when you're driving a car, you don't really ever realize how big some cars are. I was like
yeah,
looking at the back of a Tesla. I was like, man, I mean, this isn't just like it's like I know there's like the Cybertruck, but I'm like, this thing's almost like
yeah,
a truck in and of itself, like, or a van slash SUV. You
yeah.
know,
Even like the small Teslas are like kind of fat in the rear.
yeah. They got that big booty. Oh, but yeah, I don't. So, why are we bringing up Nicholas Rakita? and I know we're going off of like various tangents just because of just how absolutely messed up this whole story is. I mean, his one kid is like is like probably for life scarred
Yeah.
from from her exposure to the certain substances, and I mean I'm sure the other kids are scarred as well. I mean, I imagine like the oldest child. I mean, they see
Oh
their
yeah.
parents like they're one way, and then it's like they degenerate into this. And I mean, I'd understand like from my understanding, like the grandparents are like watching over them. I think. Um,
Yeah, that was a while ago, and then I think like late last year, maybe early this year, Nick got custody back.
what the
So
fuck?
yeah, so I
Seriously?
think they have been back home for a while now. Um, so yeah, I mean, like you usually hear a lot of stories of like CPS like unfairly taking kids away from the home, and this one's like the opposite. It's like this is when they really should, like do something, and they're just like, you can go back home.
Fuck. Seriously.
Yeah. Because I
What the
remember, I remember even seeing Nick like post something about it. It's like, oh, thank God, my kids are back home, and they're so happy to be back home. Blah blah blah, other lies and whatnot.
it reminds me of like some of these like family channels. I mean, like I forget the name of it, but I remember seeing like a thumbnail. Maybe it was like the right opinion, some family like one of these family channels where it's like they have like all this money and then like I don't even remember like
And they're just like the ones that do like those daily family vlogs and like
yeah that's
use
it's
their
kind of like
kids
that.
for clicks and stuff. Like, oh,
Yeah,
my
pretty
kid is
much.
going to try uh the super deep dish ultra pizza for the first time, or whatever.
Yeah, and then they grow up to become a younger Nikocado Avocado.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, and I'm pretty sure they aren't. This isn't some social experiment.
yeah,
Where I just recorded everything for like 2 years worth,
yeah,
and then I come back and I'm like, it's like THX, play the THX down, and they're like,
yeah,
what the, it's like you don't even like what happened,
yeah,
um, but yeah, so yeah, it's that ticks me off so much that it's like
yeah,
what happened there because like when it's just adults, it's like okay, look, the reason what's happened is he got basically a slap on the wrist, sort
yeah,
of, kind of. He's
yeah.
basically in jail for like 30 days and then like
Yeah,
five
so
years
today,
probation. Yeah,
today the news of the sentencing dropped, and I honestly haven't paid attention to anything in the Rekieta sphere since like January probably.
yep.
But I knew he was gonna get sentenced. I just I totally forgot it was happening this month, and then I saw the news today, and holy shit. And yeah, so I mean, it's annoying, but I think we all kind of predicted he would get away with a slap on the wrist. With how with all the deals like we've heard he's been like getting cut in court and stuff like that. Like, you can go back home, you can get kids back, you can. All you have to do is just not see your mistress or whatever. Stuff like that. And then,
Yeah.
of course, today they're like, just 30 days in jail. But he will be getting 5 years probation, and I will be shocked if he can go even 1 year without slipping up. So
Yeah, he's got one hell of a narrow line to walk, and
yeah,
I still think I still think. I mean, I know I said it was kind of sort of a slap on the wrist, but it really is. It really is.
yeah,
Because what's a month in jail gonna do for a guy like that? Especially if it's like one of these private jails where it's
oh
like
yeah, no, I there's no way. Yeah, for 30 days, I doubt it's gonna be like a high security or like a Gen
like
Pop kind of like one you would see in the movies or whatever.
yeah, like some chaotic one where like even like the serial killers there, like they find out he did what with his children, and even they like gang up on him.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
because that's generally, from what I understand, anyways, that's generally the fate of people who do that kind of stuff. Um,
Yeah.
Whenever they end up in the prisons that people usually think about, like
Yeah.
the most dramatic ones. Because I mean, I'm pretty sure not. Because I'm pretty sure most movies, the way they depict prisons and stuff is probably more dramatic. Like anything in a movie or any work of fiction is more
Yeah.
dramatic than it actually is.
Yeah. I would assume so.
Um, because I mean, I know there's like some crazy prisons and like aren't there like prisons where like some of the inmates like literally have lived it, like they lived their whole life in there, like in like not
Yeah.
in the U.S. but like in like other countries.
Yeah. And then there's like supermax prisons where like the security is like super duper extra like high, and like the guards have like more authority than you would see like the typical like abusive guards in movies would have and stuff like that.
Well, I'm assuming that's because they're dealing with people who are like do not let this guy out. This guy's
Yeah.
an animal.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I I know we haven't really talked that much about Rakita like at all, but no, this is not.
Yeah, we've
This
never
is
covered
just
him before, but yeah,
yeah,
this is
this is definitely not the end of the story. We
yeah.
haven't gotten to the end of what do you call it? Rakis 3. Like like how there's
Ra-
Chris
ra-
3,
ra- yeah, Racket story maybe.
Rakus. Yeah, I like that better. Rakus 3.
Yeah.
Because that's what he is. He, he's done all these rackety things, and he's like So I don't know. I don't even. Because I mean, I mean, you have more. The thing is, you know more. You know more about him than I. Having watched him more than I have.
Yeah.
Because I've just my interaction with him is mostly just seeing like stuff like drama channels about him, or
Yeah.
like where you'd like just happen to be involved. Um, and it wasn't until
Yeah.
like a year ago, I think, when, or maybe it was a year and a half ago, I don't remember, when like all this stuff started happening.
Yeah. So I discovered Nick during the whole Kick Vic thing because he was the one who kind of
Oh yeah, the
spearheaded
Vic,
that. It's
Micogna.
Mignana. I know it doesn't make sense, but it's Mignana.
I was gonna say it's got to be like some like silent letters in there.
Yeah. So
Yeah, Miana.
yeah,
Okay.
he was the one who convinced Vic to to go on the offensive and sue for defamation, and then he got him a lawyer that doesn't even do defamation, and well, the rest is history. He lost that lawsuit, so way to go, Nick, on that one.
Yeah. Unlike a certain other guy that we, which I don't know if you want to. I don't know if you want to keep discussing like
Yeah, I mean,
Peter,
we can
Peter.
transition into that because Carl Jobst was actually a guest on one of Racket's on one of his live streams, and I wouldn't be surprised if Nick also told him, yeah, you're totally going to win this lawsuit against Billy.
Yeah, it's like at this point you're like wondering, okay, especially if ever after everything that's happened, like, okay, are you actually a real lawyer? Because I
Yeah.
know like there's like some I can't remember if it was for Rakita or someone else. Like maybe it was Moon Channel. I think it was Moon Channel. I saw
Yeah.
something about where someone was like, it's like this smaller channel. It's like, okay, this guy's not an actual lawyer, or he's not like a serious like a lawyer you should take like seriously. Um, I think it was around the time Moon Channel made that video about the completionist.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
like
it probably was him, yeah.
yeah, where he was like, I think it was like before like all the details had come out about like like all the charity
Yeah.
stuff was like going on, and his
Yeah.
mother's dead, showing his mother's death
Yeah,
certificate.
and her autopsy report. Like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, yeah, which but yeah, Nick, it's like he goes and gives you advice, gives people advice like that, and they lose. It's like, okay, why should people take you seriously? I mean, other than the fact you have a YouTube presence and you like we're like on on the the we need to on the how do I put this on the right side of like on the quote unquote right side of the cultural war, but not necessarily embracing all the things that people in that side of the movement support. I'm wording it. I don't have the right word verbiage for this. Um, but, you know what I mean, though. Like
Yeah, yeah,
Rakita is not like he's on he's supposedly on our side, but yet he goes and does a bunch of stuff that our side like once it comes out, it's like holy crap, get this guy out of here.
yeah,
That's kind of what I'm getting at. Um,
yeah,
where and same could be said about Carl Jobst, kind of where, you know, although he's kind of like, from what I understand, Carl, he's like kind of started out as like, what is it? He kind of started out as like a speedrunner guy, from what I understand. He speed ran
yeah. He
GoldenEye.
used to. I don't know if you saw the clip, but he used to speed run GoldenEye, mainly just the the very first level of GoldenEye. And at one point he did like secure the world record for that first level, but I think even that it was like on easy mode or something. So it's like,
Well, I guess you got to be a world record holder of something. I mean,
yeah,
you could go and be like a certain other lol cow and say you're the best Street Fighter player in the U.S., even though you end up getting destroyed by Japanese players on
yeah,
what has been described by a certain member of the FGC as a fucking Neo Geo conversion of Street Fighter of Super Turbo. You know,
yeah, yeah,
which is just code translation for the PS1 version of Super Turbo on the Street Fighter Collection 1 on PS1.
yeah.
But anyways.
And yeah, so like he played that level something like 150,000 times before he finally beat the record.
Like at
And
that point, just hire a tools a task bot or something if that was like a thing back then.
yeah, and when he got the record, like he started crying on stream, and then he like he went and like got his wife, and he brought his wife into the room and was like, look, I did it, and then and she had to like calm him down and like pat him on the head while he was crying and stuff.
It reminds me. I remember seeing. I think they were actually speedrunning Super Metroid. I think. There was this one guy. He was like, yeah, it was like camera while he's streaming this, and he's like, he got like the world record, and he's like
Yeah,
shirtless, right? And he got it. He like started running around and stuff, and then eventually puts his back, his like faces his back to the camera, and he's like flexing, like I'm like thinking, okay, it's not like you're just like beat like a world record at the gym guy.
yeah,
I don't know, like he's getting like doing like getting all excited, and I know I think there's like another clip of him, the same guy who like I think he failed it. He like threw his controller like so hard in like frustration. I'm like man. I mean, I know that Super Metroid takes. They don't even count in like seconds or milliseconds. They count in frames.
yeah,
That's how. That's how. That's how down to the micro whatever level of speedrunning Super Metroid is at. It's
yeah.
the frames. Other speedrunning communities, you gotta get on Super Metroid's level. But yeah, so Carl, he was it the Billy Mitchell lawsuit that he was like, yeah, you're totally you win,
Yeah, that's
you're
what
gonna be a
he went
winner,
on. Yeah, that's what he went on Nick's show to talk about because I think Nick was like pro Billy or something, and then he was like, all right, I'll have Carl on to explain why Billy cheated, and then because at the time he was like, oh yeah, this lawsuit's about cheating and stuff. So
Oh yeah, and then obviously we discussed earlier that turns out it was about Apollo Legends suicide and how Billy Mitchell totally like psyched him to like kill him into killing himself or something.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm trying to remember. I think I shared a screen cap with you earlier about like some guy who supposedly saw like Apollo Legends like last video or something.
yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember. I remember. So yeah, apparently like Apollo Legend, he had like some chronic like health issues. Like
yeah. He had, I think it was like scoliosis or something, and he was basically in constant pain all the time.
yeah,
And then in his video, he named like two YouTubers for giving him the quote unquote final push, and Billy Mitchell was not mentioned in that video at all. So
yeah, and you know, so and we already kind of went over in like in a previous stream
yeah,
about how like that didn't have that you know what was once like cheat like oh just video game cheating like going from that to oh you tortured a guy psychologically to death or whatever you know
yeah,
bit of a bit of a long leap to go, especially if you're going to scam your fans out of money. And more recent happenings, Carl. Um, I'll say I did not see the video. I just did not have a chance to
okay,
watch it. Um,
yeah. I mean,
and
it's half an hour long, but the gist of it is, I'm sorry you felt misled. Is basically what it boiled down to.
I'm sorry you felt misled. I should have not looked like
Hello there,
no.
you absolute legends. I'm so sorry you felt misled. Now
Why
please click on my sponsors so I can appeal this and speedrun even greater depth for my family.
why do I look like fusion of Bill Clinton and the villain from the original Blade Runner movie? I just pull it up and it's like see a video thumbnail by Van Buren 20 and like the thumbnail it's like I just cannot see it. I mean I know that I don't know, he just looks like that's just what he looks like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I watched that Van Buren video too. Apparently,
Yeah.
so that guy, he used to be like a hardcore Billy Mitchell defender, and then Carl actually like convinced Van Buren that um Billy Mitchell did cheat, and
And
then
then now he's like back on, well, I don't know if he's back on team Billy Mitchell, but
no, now he's like, I'm done with both of you guys. I don't want any part of this.
yeah, he went from like one alignment to another alignment,
Yeah,
and then now he's going on the neutral path for the neutral ending for you
yeah,
Megaton fans out there.
yeah. So because he's just like everybody else. He was like, I thought this case was about cheating, not accusing somebody of causing someone else's death.
Yeah, which I mean, I don't know. It's like, I mean, I don't know. The thing is, just, I'm assuming Carl did he even know like Apollo Legend like IRL or something or like
Hey,
in a serious way? That's the thing I
probably
don't
not
really.
IRL since different countries, but um apparently I guess at some point they were like, yeah, Discord buddies at the very least. Like they at least like talked, but from everything I've seen, like Carl really just kind of inserted himself into the Apollo stuff, and I guess he just thought, oh, I'm gonna insert myself into this, and I'm
I
gonna
think
goat Billy into suing me, and I'm gonna beat him, and I'm gonna get all this money and stuff.
I'm gonna be the hero, guys. Get all this
Yeah,
money. You know, don't. I sure hope none of my fans read. I sure hope none of my fans read the fine print.
yeah,
You know,
because
so it's
basically at that point, Billy was known for like suing anybody who talks shit about him. So like for Carl to go and do what he did, like he had to know that Billy would come after him, and he probably thought, oh, this is easy money for me. This is easy clout and money, and that's why
easy money.
yeah,
Kind of reminds me. There was like a coworker who had at a certain job I used to work at that would say that like every day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he'd be like easy money, man. And I'm
For
like,
like no reason?
well, he did work a lot of overtime, from what I
Oh,
understand, but
okay.
he also had like a bunch of kids, but he also was like he'd been there like way longer than I had, so. I mean, at least, I mean, all I would say is well, I don't want to say too much. 'Cause I don't want to say, I
Yeah.
don't want to go into too many personal details, but you know, but yeah. So like, it's crazy how everything we talked about is like, you know, all interlinked. Like went from 4chan, linked it to
Yeah.
Rakita, linked it to Jobst. It's like where it's like this big giant like you mentioned like Metal Gear earlier, like it's a big giant
Yeah.
conspiracy by the lolly
Yeah.
low, lolly low, you know, um.
Yeah.
Which you got to think of, total tangent, but like in Japanese, because there's no like
Oh
L
yeah. It
sound.
would be like Rari Rurero.
I think I heard like it was actually like they actually did try to get them to like actually say it
Pronounce it
like,
properly.
yeah, like it's a Japanese,
Okay.
it's voice actor actually do it.
Yeah.
But I think I heard that was like part of the reason why they picked it, because it's like a weird pronunciation for
Yeah.
in the context of like Japan, for the Japanese seiyus or voice
Yeah.
actors, you know.
Yeah.
Um, just taking out these like absolute like mooks here. Look like
Yeah.
uh, look like the most like
Oh,
this.
you absolute mooks.
Yeah,
That's how Carl should start his next video.
yeah. What you absolute mooks as I work out, as I dig myself out of
So I dig myself out of generational debt. I've started a new GoFundMe so you can start
so
to
you
give
can
up
help
even
me
more of
with.
your hard-earned money.
Yeah, and then you like just like wait, one of the videos you like put in like the one video that I don't even know his name. I think it was like either Blackbuster Critic or Black Bond or one of those guys. Um, I remember Review Tech USA. He was like begging for uh a microphone or something, like a better microphone.
Yeah.
And one of these guys was like, so what I did is I just worked some more overtime at my job. Like fancy that.
Yeah.
It was back in like
Someone
this.
someone in chat says my frogs,
No frogs.
and they have a Pepe avatar.
A fellow Kikistani, I see.
Fellow mourner.
Yep. Until like 2 weeks from now, they get it back up and going. I guess.
Yeah. But with more Troon mods or less Troon mods, that's what everyone. That's the real thing I'm waiting to see.
Well, with Christopher Poole, unfortunately, I think he, the guy who like heads up 4chan, like, didn't he like say something like in support of like Zoe and Anita? I think.
Oh, well, I know he doesn't like run it anymore because he sold it like years ago to the guy who runs 2chan.
Oh, when was this?
I think like 2014 or 2015, so that timeline would check out if he was like anti-Gamergate or whatever.
Yeah. I like how the boss literally has 420 health.
Oh man, I'm probably not gonna get out of this one.
I was gonna say it would have been perfect if it was literally 420 today, but it's 419.
Yeah.
Full attack power. Yeah, I don't know if there was like something else you wanted to mention about Carl Jobst.
Oh yeah, basically yeah. So, I mean, anyone who watched the video would know. He basically kind of doubled down on everything. Like he was like, well, obviously, any rational person would assume that, Billy Mitchell, caused Paulo's suicide and whatnot. It's like, bro, you just like lost the freaking
Like, yeah, you
lawsuit,
just
and you're
lost,
going
and now
to appeal.
he's like coping,
Yeah, it's like
inhaling
you
the
plan to appeal
copium.
it. So like, imagine what happens when the appeal judge watches this video. Like, oh, so you haven't learned anything.
Oh, that reminds me. That reminds me. Remember how his retraction was like in a random like Dark Souls video,
Yeah,
like the,
it
the
was at
no
the
hit
end.
run.
Yeah, yeah. He was like, "Oh, I believe being a Dark Souls video, this would get way more eyes on it." But he puts it at the end of a video with no mention in the description or anything.
Yeah, and then like people are going back and be like, man, this will be a video that lives in infamy.
Yeah. And I saw one person comment. They're like, "All right, Carl, if that's true, why don't you put your sponsors at the end of the video?"
Yeah, well, yeah, I could say that about like a lot of content creators. Like all their like nowadays, like it's every content creator now. It's like the sponsor at the end at the beginning of the video, Patreon readout, like name readouts at the end. Um, like, comment, and subscribe, and hit the bell notification, guys. You know,
Yeah,
um, like and anyways, it's like I can always like tell like when it's like I remember some people would be like, oh, it's not about the money, guys, and it's like, well,
yeah,
if this is your income, you know, I mean, I understand that you say what you gotta say, but still, you know,
yeah,
um, but yeah, so good old Carl kept doubling down, and
yeah,
he's just backing himself into a hole even more by as he inhales the copium
yeah,
as he's like thinking about how he's probably thinking as he's recording the video, he's like thinking like, "Wow, I gotta get myself out of this now, otherwise I'm gonna get divorced and I'm gonna have to work like a job like
yeah.
everyone else, you know."
I'm gonna have to put the fries in the bag.
Yeah, but load that trailer up, Wagey,
Yeah,
uh, inflicting dark elemental attacks, huh?
yeah. I don't think I'm gonna survive this one.
I say you're not really doing a whole lot of damage. So is it like so is these like your cards almost where you like play them
Yeah,
and
it's
then
basically cards.
like you draw from like I guess a deck of some kind.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very pretty card game. Is basically what it boils down to.
I remember hearing like Metal Gear Acid was like that, where it's like every small little action you do is like you're playing
Yeah,
some
you have to use
card.
cards to just to move even.
I don't know. I think the only way you could do like a card game like this and have it like I'm thinking like play like Cards Against Humanity like online or something. Like I know there's like a few online stuff one could do with that.
Yeah,
Like we can play like online with people. You can just like be like the worst. Be like put it in like whatever like random like terrible quote unquote terrible thing.
yeah,
Kind of reminds me one time I was with that one with a certain someone I know IRL.
yeah.
Sometimes I would say something. They'd be like these are terrible. Like you're a terrible person, Berserk, and I'm like, that's all it is. Like that's the name of the game.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I mean, I wish I could say more about Carl by myself, but I didn't see the video.
yeah. I mean, and there's not much to say. Like the first couple minutes of the video, it seems like he's genuinely making an effort to clear up some things, and he does kind of have some points in his favor if you ignore 2/3 of the video. But yeah, after that first third of the video, once he goes into the detail of everything, it you realize he's just not facing reality, and he's just doubling down on everything.
yeah,
And I remember one of the leaks, from his Discord, the screenshots. He was like, "Oh, I have these smoking gun emails that my stupid lawyers didn't use. That would have won me the case." And he showed the
yeah,
email. I assuming the emails he showed in the video are the emails he was talking about on Discord, and none of them were anything crazy.
yeah. I'm pretty sure the lawyers, if they fought their slam dunk argument, they would have gone for it.
Yeah,
God,
He even showed the email where like Apollo's brother was like, "Hey, Billy didn't have anything to do with this." So like,
oh
chill.
yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, his brother like was like yeah, Billy didn't have anything to do with this. What's the deal, man? You know?
Yeah. So like he shows that email and he's still like, well, this one guy on Reddit said that, Billy made him like he legit used like Reddit comment screenshots. He's like these 2-3 guys on Reddit said that Apollo was forced to pay Billy $30,000 and that's the reason he killed himself. And it's like, bro. That's your legal defense? Some comments on Reddit?
Yeah, like yeah, just some random comments that aren't even like your comments. I'm assuming. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not. I haven't seen like the screen caps or anything, which I I,
Yeah.
I get like screen cap like all the stuff like the shorts like like some of the stuff
Yeah.
I'm thinking like Carl Jobst just lost his job. You know, Billy
Carl,
Mitchell.
time to get a Jobst.
Billy Mitchell owns Carl Jobst.
Billy Mitchell destroys all caps Carl.
Yeah, and it's what it is like Billy Mitchell. They take his voice, but they take it to like the speed and rhythm of like take it to the speed of rhythm of Ben Shapiro like this, and he absolutely destroys him with facts and logic.
Yeah.
This is epic, you know.
Yeah. And it's like there's one clip he kept using of Billy, and it was like that actually turned out to be it was a clip where like Billy was like,
Ooh,
yeah,
there's a
Apollo
lot to
never
go
paid me any
into
money,
there.
and I have nothing to do with that. We settled things amicably and stuff like that. And then
Yeah,
I remember there was like an old video where like Carl played that clip and he was like, Billy Mitchell is a liar. And then like he repeated that clip again in this video too. And it's
if
like,
I,
bro, that's the one thing like Billy didn't lie about.
if I repeat it enough, it'll be accepted.
Yeah.
It's like what a certain great artist from the mid 20th century said about lies. And I almost said his name and could have gotten ourselves demonetized. Possibly. I don't know.
Well, we'd have to be monetized to get demonetized in the first place. So
Yeah, true, but if that was ever to happen, be like,
yeah,
oh, we like to really watch what we're saying. You know?
yeah,
Um, um, yeah, me just give it. I was gonna say you almost got KO'd there earlier.
yeah. Well, I'm out of items now, so if I take
Oh,
another hit like that, probably not gonna last too long.
I was gonna say is it like the characters have their own like item bags or whatever. Like, this is Earthbound or
No, it's one item bag from that girl on the bottom left.
okay,
So and you
yeah.
only get items from like the shop or like if you happen to run into like a villager who's feeling kind.
Well, I was just saying because I know I saw the way it looked like it was coming off like that one like blonde chicks, you know, in your deck, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah, there's lots of crazy stuff is happening in the YouTube sphere and just the internet in general.
yeah. A lot of happenings this week in general.
And it's like, well, I'm just on the sideline, just like Michael Jackson with the fucking gee, I wish I did not have like gaffes like this, right? Don't like I'm turning into Brandon here,
Yeah,
almost.
it was like, you know the thing,
Yeah, you know the thing.
you know the
Um,
thing.
but yeah, I was gonna say like I'm like Michael Jackson with the popcorn bag, like just like kind of watching, just seeing the show.
Yeah,
I like how you just every shot you make is like going right to her.
yeah, yeah.
I guess this is quite the ass kissing, ass kicking.
Yeah. I'm sure that was intentional too, on the developer's part.
Yeah. Yeah, you have to design it specifically for that. Not like you just do it to her face, like this is Punch Out.
Yeah.
I'd be down with for a new Punch Out is if they just have it be like Punch Out. It's Little Mac, but it's like against everyone, like in the like NES, like any like Nintendo character. Like
Oh yeah.
like
Yeah, that would be
Mario,
cool.
Captain
Yeah.
Falcon. Captain Falcon would be cool because like you have to dodge his Falcon
Yeah,
Punch, and if
you
you
have to
don't hit it,
dodge Falcon Punch.
it's
That would
like
be like a
what?
one-hit KO probably.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's so powerful. I mean, the Falcon Punch is so powerful that Captain Falcon has it in the GP Legend anime.
Oh, okay, I never saw enough of it to like get that far
Well, I've
to
just
actually
seen
see
like
him do it.
I've seen the clips of it on YouTube where it's like,
Okay.
you know,
Yeah,
it- I don't know if you want me to spoil it for you, like
it's
the
fine.
end.
Yeah.
Oh, it's well, basically what happens is it's based on GP Legend, the one where it's that Rick Hunter, no, Rick Hunter's
Yeah.
Macross. It's Rick, whatever his name is, and he's in like F-Zero GX as well. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, he's the main character, and him and Captain Falcon and Black Shadow, they're like, all right, this is it. I'm gonna take you to hell with me, and Captain Falcon's like, Falcon, and it's actually got a pretty cool theme too, like
Okay.
the music theme.
Yeah.
It's like not moment of truth. It's like meaning of truth, I think is what it is.
Okay.
Like how you have like a bullet, like targeting signs on her, like you're gonna go full Golgo 13 on her.
Right. Yeah.
That does remind me, I do need to. Well, anyway, I maybe talk about. I was thinking about something. Like, you remember they mentioned like Space Adventure Cobra the other like several streams ago.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, I totally forgot. You had to check that out.
Yeah, I mean, I know what the guy looks like. It's just I never knew that it was like oh, this is like just it had that much of an impact on like Metroid. I always thought maybe like in terms of like Japanese influences, it was Dragon 7 or whatever that one screen cap I think I shared with you, where it's like the blonde chick and like the not Samus armor,
Yeah.
power suit. Like it looks very similar.
Yeah.
So is it like you have like a certain deck of cards that like it cycles through?
I assume it cycles through because I feel like I would have ran out by now because I don't have that many different
Yeah, because I'm like seeing like the
characters this
same
run.
like you have the one blue haired chick with the arrow. You have
Yeah.
um I feel like the blonde hair, the girl with the blonde hair could be like Saber
Yeah,
or
a little bit.
Leafa, from what I know about Sword Art Online, um, and whatever else. You've seen Sword Art Online, right?
The first season I've seen a little bit, yeah.
Okay. Is it true that Leafa has like got like an incestuous like crush on the main guy, Kirito or whatever his name is?
I've definitely seen like memes and posts about that, so probably yeah.
I know there's like a sequel to the show where they go where they spoof Call of Duty, like Black Bullet or something, and it has like
Yeah,
Skeletor is like
there's like a spin-off, yeah.
yeah, Skeletor is like the main bad guy. Meh. And so he prayed.
Yeah. Oh my God, do I pray?
Yeah, it looks like you're slowly whittling her down, though.
Yeah, probably not gonna last though. 2 more attacks and I'm done.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It looks like you're getting like all these buffs and stuff, with both the icons.
Yeah, I do have a bunch, but
Probably not
it's
enough
not.
to outlast,
Yeah.
Ooh. It's like the real Mega 10 battle. It's all about how many buffs you have,
Yeah.
from my understand of those games. Like in those games, like how like you play some RPGs and it's like the buff is just like you buff your attack. It's like, oh, I just hit for like one more extra hit point. Yay!
Yeah.
Um, I remember my brother. He actually got. You ever heard of Pure Solar? That's
Yeah,
P. Oh, okay. Yeah, I know it's like on everything nowadays.
yeah.
But we actually had like I don't know if it was originally for the Genesis, but we have like the actual cartridge. Um,
Oh, okay. That's cool.
it's like I
Yeah, I
forget
think I
how many.
remember seeing that on like the Wii U eShop.
Well, yeah, nowadays it's like on everything.
Yeah.
But it's actually pretty rad because the cartridge, I guess I forget what it is. It's like the most card. It's like the most of any like Genesis game. Um,
Yeah.
and it's actually cool because it has a you can buy like a separate like disc a CD for it, and if you do it with the Sega CD, it has like CD quality music with
Oh,
the
okay.
cartridge. Um,
That's very cool.
and I'm like thinking, uh, it makes me think like, what if they made like those like Sega CD 32X games,
Yeah.
like what if they made a game for like all three of those,
Yeah.
and it requires all three of them. It's like this is the most powerful, most advanced, biggest game for the Genesis like ever, and it needs the
Yeah.
power of all of these, you know, all these systems combined.
Yeah.
Oh shit! You
Yeah,
think
it's
you
a
got
shame
her?
they never like really made any like worthwhile game like that
Hell yeah, dude!
uses all three.
You got her.
Yeah, I was a little worried towards the end there, but I managed to get enough buffs to get my
So,
defense up.
so what happens when you like win? Like you do like does it like get like a big sequence or like you
Well,
get?
you get when you beat the boss, you get one of these like legendary cards, and then you just move on to like the next map.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
it's like I'm assuming it's like a constant run.
yeah. I've never made it past the third map. I'm guessing there's a certain amount where after you, because there's other like other game modes kind of that you unlock, but I guess you have to get you have to get far enough in this one to unlock them.
Ah, I see. It kind of reminds me of like playing Call of Duty Zombies, which I did way more of than I actually wanted to.
Yeah,
Looking back, I wish I was a little bit more assertive with certain people in my life. I'll just leave it at that. Um,
mm,
but it's like you go keep going and going and going, and the problem is if you like what would happen is like he would die, and then you would like
yeah,
lose so much progress. I mean, you
yeah,
still have like points back and stuff, but you like lose your weapons and your perks and stuff. And eventually, it gets to a certain point where you just can't keep up. And I remember he would like host like a private game, in like Black Ops 1 or 2, or uh, we didn't play World at War all that much. And he was just like he would be hosting, and eventually I would be doing so well, and he would like get bored. He'd be like, end the game early, and I'm like, dude, I was having fun. Like, come on,
yeah,
like he would get all salty about like losing, and it's like, okay, I can't always save you. It's about you know, it gets so crazy. Like Black Ops 2, like the last like DLC like um zombies level they did like on the
yeah,
Xbox 360 is
yeah.
like people complain about low frame rates like these days. It's like, dude, you haven't seen low frame rates, like especially if you do it like split screen, like that
Yeah.
is like a slideshow. Like it's like four slideshows in
Oh
one,
wow.
but potentially. 'Cause I think it.
Yeah.
I can't.
I've never
Actually,
actually played enough like Call of Duty to see it slow down on consoles, so
well,
that's
it's
kind of
only the
crazy.
zombies mode. You're not going to see it usually on like multiplayer unless they're like doing challenge zombies on the PS3. I remember there was like one group of guys that sort of it was sort of like a that no one else really sit at the table with that would like be tolerable sort of
Yeah.
situation. And they would tell me about like all their like challenge lobby stuff they would do on their PS3s, and I'm like, that's great. I don't really have a PS3, or
Yeah.
if I once I did get a PS3, it was like, okay, the problem is like I'm in like the other side of the house, you know, like it'd be like Wi-Fi for like 3 or 4 different walls.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it would be, it would be a struggle, like even do some basic stuff.
Yeah.
Deep sea band was like upgrades for like one of your units, or
It's basically like getting a new card. Like you get a random card. But you get to choose like which attributes you want. It's still random, but and I don't really know, like, I don't know enough of the cards to like know exactly what I'm gonna get. But
Yeah, I would not get the idea that this is like a card game just from looking at it, unless I was like carefully looking at like how you're like constantly like swapping from one turn to another.
yeah,
Just
it's
because
very
it's not
dressed up.
presented as a card, you know.
Yeah, like I when I bought it, I didn't know it was a card game. I thought it was just more of like a regular JRPG kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, one thing I know we could talk about is like, I mean, granted, there's probably not much we could say is like the Switch 2 and like how the Switch, if you buy like Tears of the Kingdom or Breath of the Wild on for the Switch 2,
Yeah,
they do not come with the DLC.
yeah. So yeah, so like I know people were saying, oh, $90 games, and it turned out the games weren't $90. But if you want everything in Breath of the Wild, it will be $90 because you'll have to buy the DLC because Nintendo's selling a freaking remaster with no DLC for $70.
Which is like very counterintuitive because anytime they even like went for the two games like on the PS4 that were like cross-gen releases like
Yeah,
Injustice, like the Ultimate Edition or whatever, like it came with all
yeah,
the DLC.
yeah. They would always throw in all the DLC, and then even then the game would be discounted pretty soon after it came out if it wasn't already.
Well, yeah, because I mean it's a fighting game, and usually those games aren't always it's worth like $70-$80, unless it's like I said, like the complete version. But even then, that was back before $70 was like the standard,
Yeah,
as like the base rate. Because I know people will be like, oh, but what about taxes? It would come out to 70. And we're talking about the base price. Nowadays, it's like after tax, it's like it would all probably be like. I mean, now that I think, but probably be like almost $100, depending on
yeah,
where you live,
yeah.
to
Jeez, yeah,
get like Breath of the Wild with all the DLC with what is it, like the trial maps and or
yeah,
dungeons or
and
whatever, and like the motorcycle.
yeah, and that little like prequel story kind of thing.
Oh,
They
I didn't
have.
know it was like a prequel in Breath of the
Yeah,
Wild.
one of the DLCs. It's not like a real prequel. You just kind of get like in the challenge, you get like cutscenes that show you like more of the champions from the past.
Oh, okay. 'Cause I know like Link, he gets like flashbacks or whatever of like
Yeah, it's
whatever
like
happens
those.
in what is it, like Age of Calamity that they made like
Yeah,
after. Um,
yeah, yeah. You get like it's basically more of those, more flashbacks.
Flashbacks for you know what I just realized with them making Zelda a voiced character.
Mm.
Whatever the next Zelda game is, especially with the Zelda movie coming around, I would not be surprised if they give Link a voice.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's
Yeah,
like,
shit. I forgot about forgot about the freaking movie.
yeah, it's like coming out like what, like 2028 or something like that. Like a
I
lot bit
think
of a
next
leap.
year, actually. I think like yeah, next year they're actually. I think they put a date on it.
I thought I remember seeing something. I was like thinking, man, that's awfully late. That's a
Yeah,
bit of a lead up. But yeah, and it's like just in general, like who's they gonna get to voice this character who's known for not speaking? You
yeah.
know, like the most you get, like the most character I think he usually has is like an Ocarina of Time. I think, from what I understand, and like Majora's Mask.
Uh, yeah, yeah. I'd say in Majora's Mask he has some animated. I would say the most characteristic he has is probably Wind Waker. That's where he's like the most animated, and like
Oh, quite
yeah,
literally.
yeah, and he has like a lot of like expressive faces to like everyone talking to him and stuff.
Yeah, I have to play that. I have to play Wind Waker one of these days. Whenever I feel like um, sailing all around.
Yeah,
I was actually,
it's definitely a lot more tolerable in the Wii U version.
well, yeah, I heard there's a Wii U version. Like, was there like some, and there like something with like Tingle that like made people hate the character or something. We have to like collect a bunch of things like for the last part of the game or something like that they like removed in the Wii U version, I think.
Oh yeah, they didn't remove it fully. They just kind of cut down on it, and they made it easier to find the items. So
Oh, I see.
yeah, and then they give you the Swift Sail item, which makes it so you don't have to like constantly play your ocarina all the time.
Oh, okay. So it's like a macro, basically.
Yeah,
Quickly fast forward time, back forward it, make it rain, make it snow. Although I don't, can you imagine like you have to like that's like something you have to worry about like if it snows and it like freezes the water and it
freezes the
if it
water. You can't go to,
yeah and it's like game over.
or you could go and you just have to like walk the whole way.
Oh wow, yeah, go and turn it into be like try this Hideo Kojima. You rip this from Wind Waker. The only way I'll ever play that game is if they do like I mentioned to you in private, where they make it VR with Death Stranding,
Oh yeah,
and they turn it into like they Ring Fit Adventure it, like this is the greatest workout game ever,
that would
and like
probably make me less likely to play, especially if they
well,
like make the weights realistic.
yeah, that's how much you do it. Like they make it like realistic. Like you get to not only do you get to do cardio, it's also like works out your muscles and stuff.
Yeah,
Um, I remember reading
but
this
with
book.
the way that game is, you would have like back problems after like one session.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, I know that I know I saw like that was like the meme like with that game. It's like, oh, you just watched too much of. I've never seen the movie, but like The Postman or something,
Oh
or like
yeah, yeah,
or like some movie about some male guy, and I remember seeing like one clip like at some point where he's like in a war, it's like in a battle with like guns and like explosions. I'm like, okay, this. I mean, I know there's like was like he gets like attacked by like people who are trying to like steal his like packages and stuff. I think.
yeah. I haven't seen it either. So, but yeah, I've heard it's kind of crazy like that.
Well, especially crazy when you think about what you what you used to fight the actual like ghost that caused the Death Stranding or whatever. Like
Yeah,
is literal piss shit jizz.
yeah,
You
a
know,
real piss jar.
saliva.
Yeah,
Like thinking, wow. Where's where's the guy with the 141.8 frequency to tell me all about how this works and all the
yeah,
nanomachines and you know the crazy engineering that they did and everything.
yeah.
I'm actually curious. Have you ever played Snatcher or Police Knots?
I played a little bit of Snatcher. Snatcher is the one that's like more like Blade Runner, right?
Yeah, it's basically not Blade Runner.
Yeah,
Police
that's the one.
Police Knots is like not Lethal Weapon, but I've never seen any of the movies. I know the
Okay.
characters look and the main guy and the buddy look similar, but I'm pretty sure the plot. I mean, I mean, maybe it is. I don't know. I'm pretty sure. Well, I don't want to spoil Police Knots, but I will say, like, as far as like the progression of that game, like, you know how like people complain about like the long codec conversations and how they go into like so much over, like they over detailize everything.
Yeah,
Um, in order to make progress in Police Knots, it's like every time every like screen you go to, you have to observe everything,
yeah,
or like you'll for like it'll the guy will like pop out in like the beginning and shoot at you, and then it'll proceed to the next stage of the gunfight. Um, which is a little annoying, but what was cool about that game is that granted I use an emulator for this obviously because I don't have an actual PlayStation mouse. But if
yeah.
you use it like with EPSXE, you could like set it up like the mouse. You could actually use like the mouse for like aiming. It was actually officially compatible with that.
We got two new chats. Daily reminder that Shardy won and 4 Cup lost, and then this is a DNB of a stream. I don't know what DNB means.
DNB. I'm looking it up on Urban Dictionary as we speak. Probably something negative.
Probably.
Do nothing, bitch, is what the person, or either that or drum and bass, which I also know.
Okay. Well, I mean, we didn't say we were gonna do anything, so.
Take care of. So apparently by phrase popularized by Ronda Rousey, of
What?
the UFC. Also, Sonya's voice
Okay.
actor in MK11 and sticks out for because she is not. Let's just say she's not like the other voice actors. That's all I'll say
Yeah.
in that game. And it's funny, like MK11 and like the beta of it. Sonya, she actually looked like Elizabeth Warren.
Oh
I'm
my
not
god.
even joking. Like the face, like the way the face looked.
Yeah, that sounds like another realm these days.
Well, it was like it was something they fixed like later. It's just like just the beta. It just looked funny. Um, what in the world? Oh
Yeah,
no
I
no
don't
no
know.
no no! So it transmers can't understand soy speak.
It's like, okay, I'm not gonna feel bad about that one.
Yeah, I don't know what that's about. These people are watching anyways. 6. Oh,
Oh, okay. On my phone it says 0, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's probably the YouTube
lovely.
app just being stupid.
Yeah, lovely, good old YouTube app.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just check the top chat too. Oh, I see. I was like Shardy, and I was like, oh wait, now I remember who the Shardy guy is. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Those are the ones who hacked, fortunately.
Queen, you sure you aren't like a straight up angel? Or I would not think a queen slash angel would say, take this boon.
I'm actually gonna start this boss with full health. That is
Oh,
right.
you're already at the boss.
Yeah,
I know I'm like a minute behind usually, because that's how it
yeah.
is,
Okay, yeah, I don't think I've made it to this boss before because I'm getting a cutscene now.
Looks like you're about to fight uh the fifth major boss in Persona. No. This would be like the first boss. The color scheme of it kind of reminded me of
Yeah.
the casino from Persona 5.
Oh,
Not me, huh? Why isn't she the one redhead from One Piece?
right.
Wait, your character suddenly like changed hair color or something?
I don't think so. I think that's someone else.
Oh, okay. Oh wow, that's literally what they call it in the story, huh? Bullet break.
Yeah.
Talks a lot but says little, huh?
Well, that person deleted all their messages.
Yeah, I noticed that. The other lady, the one with the teal hair.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's her hairstyle or face or whatever, but she reminds me of Shion from Xeno Saga.
Oh, okay.
Might just also be like the like thing she's doing for her like finger.
Yeah.
Because Shion's like a scientist basically in the game.
Okay.
She and like some other characters are who created like Cosmos,
Oh, okay.
which for as much as they put like focus on her and like the box art and everything, I mean she takes like I mean this is me just watching the cutscenes. I'm sure maybe if I was to actually go and open up in RetroArch and actually play the game, like it would actually maybe come off a little bit better. But like Cosmos, she doesn't really do much other than like for like certain pivotal scenes. It's not until like the third one that she takes a bit more of a center stage for the most part.
Okay.
Whereas Shion is like, you know, I almost feel like she's almost like the main character of the whole series, the trilogy. I
Oh.
mean,
Okay.
not the whole series because
Yeah.
Xeno is kind of a calling it a series that's connected is, I mean,
Yeah.
I would say the only ones that have a connection, and even then, it's kind of a loose connection, is like Gears and Saga, and then like Xenoblade is clearly just like, yeah, that all that stuff with Xenogears and Saga just didn't work out. We're just gonna restart everything, even
Yeah.
though thematically they share a lot of things with each other, like amongst the other Xeno games. And
Yeah.
you got like 7 cards. You know, how many cards can you hold total?
I think 7. I don't think I've held more than 7. They probably make you discard after that.
I was like thinking you get like 10 in your hands. You know,
Maybe eventually with enough legendary cards or something.
10 cards in hand, 7 rings in hand.
Yeah.
7 rings in hand.
That's what I thought of too. As soon as you said that.
Yeah, I'm also thinking like Tom Brady. You know,
Yeah.
like the Patriots.
Yeah.
But although it's funny in the FGC, there is some guy named Tom Brady, but it's not like the Tom Brady. Um,
Wow.
I don't know exactly who it is, but you know, it's like one of those names you hear about.
Yeah.
I like how Monokuma from Danganronpa shows up every now and then.
Yeah.
Isn't that game basically just like high school Phoenix, right?
I think so. I don't know if there's like any actual like real gameplay to it. I think it's mostly visual novel kind of thing.
With like some middle games, mini games.
Yeah.
Which I know, like Phoenix, right? They have like the mind lock things you do every now and then.
Yeah. I've never actually like I've only just like seen other people play. I've never actually played through any of the Phoenix Wright games myself.
Yeah, I feel like some of those games are kind of like they're very. I don't want to say. I feel like me. They're niche meme games, if that makes sense.
Yeah, like everybody
Like,
knows about them and talks about them, but like I don't actually know anyone who's played them.
yeah, and it's like okay, there comes a certain point with some games where it's like, and this is kind of something I've been thinking about with like RPGs a little bit. So I've been playing Final Fantasy IX, and while
Yeah.
I mean, I do like it. You know, there are some criticisms I do have of it, like you know, like the fact that you fight a boss, even if you're like, oh, even if I'm like overly leveled because of the way those game systems kind of work, they kind of
Yeah.
they don't like incentivize you like explicitly to level up. But if you're someone who likes to customize your characters and have every option available, you just kind of end up leveling them up like way beyond what you intended by accident. You
Yeah.
know, just because of like how because it's kind of has the systems kind of similar to Lost Odyssey where um if you win so many battles or kill so many enemies with this character while this item's equipped while this person is with you in the party, uh there's there are 4 party members that can learn those abilities like permanently, and then depending on
Yeah.
how you like expand their slots and stuff, you can make them like more overpowered or less overpowered depending on how you want to play
Okay.
it. Um, at least in Lost Odyssey, it's kind of a similar system in Final Fantasy IX. But it's like kind of like the same idea, which I guess makes sense because you know same developer, you know.
Yeah.
Like Final Fantasy IX was like, from what I understand, the last one that Sakaguchi. Ooh, that hurt. Um,
Yeah.
that Sakaguchi like was like directly involved in.
Okay.
I mean, I think he still had like influence on like 10, but he was like, this is like the
Yeah.
last one that he like directly headed up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What's the heart rate meter all about? And you also have like a fuse, I guess.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I don't actually know what that is.
Do you get like a heart
I know
attack?
there's a stat called Heart Explosion, but I don't actually know what that does. Like it's been so long since I last played this game. I have to like relearn all this stuff.
maybe you get like double trigger when that happens. And you can like recovers your health. And you get like super buff. No, that would actually be pretty cool.
Yeah, it'll be useful.
Getting 2 antibodies, like resistances. Oh, okay. It tells you what it does.
Text is really small, so it's kind of hard for me to read it from where I'm sitting.
Oh, are you like playing it on like a TV or something, or?
Yeah. This is on the Switch. Yeah, I forgot to mention that.
Oh, okay. I mean, the thing is, like, yeah, it could be a Switch or it could just be like button prompts, you know.
Yeah.
Although I don't think Nintendo would appreciate somewhat like a PC version of a game having button prompts like this.
Oh yeah, ZR. Yeah.
Yeah. But I know if you like pair a Switch controller, like a Pro controller to the computer,
Yeah.
and you use like Steam input, I'll be playing like Yakuza 0, and like the buttons are all swapped around until you like go in the menu. You have to go in the menu first and be like swap the face buttons around, then it's like acts like a regular, control. The normal controls. I mean,
Yeah.
this girl reminds me. I mean, she doesn't have the other twin tail, but if she does, it's like obscured by like the angle.
Yeah.
She looks like she could just be like Hestia, but she actually has clothes on.
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
And I'm like, anytime I see that show, like a picture of that show or whatever, and that
Yeah.
gal, I'm like thinking, I'm pretty sure in the actual anime or whatever original media, that guy does not. I'm pretty sure they treat it like he's still a virgin or whatever.
Yeah.
Like the main guy, even though
Yeah.
I'm like thinking, okay, if you have someone like that and the other blonde chick
Right.
or what, all the other, yeah, I'll just like you think he'd be like, be like, be a party every night,
Yeah. At that point, you don't need to go in the dungeon.
Yeah, was is it wrong for like pick up girls in a dungeon? I'm like thinking, dude, you have like one like like this guy's like dating strategy is like pretty dangerous, but I guess kind of bold,
Yeah.
just going by the title of it. I'm sure it
Yeah.
gets more nuanced,
Yeah. Probably. I think I watched the first episode of that when it first came out, and then like I meant to continue it, and I just never did.
Yeah. I know there's like what that one anime like I got reincarnated as like a slime. I'm like thinking
Yeah.
if only I had played like Dragon Quest, I probably would understand get it more,
Yeah. Okay, I'm probably about to die.
Yeah, I mean you're getting destroyed.
Yep, I died.
Is it normal to like do that little damage against bosses where it's just like less than like not even like 10 digit, like double digits?
Yeah, that's pretty normal for this game.
Like normally if I was doing that, I'd be like getting that. I'd be like, I don't think I think I might need to grind a bit more or change up my strategy or something.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. You can't really grind because there's no like levels or anything. Every time you restart, you just start with like the basic deck, and then you just get random cards throughout.
You say the basic deck, but what a little baby.
Well, at least she can pop up in her deck from now on, potentially.
Like I'll be like, it'd be like I like how it says like swimsuit, like it's not the usual like costume.
Yeah, that means there's another version of her.
Like is there one of her in like space or something?
Spacesuit.
It'd be like damn.
Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna end the stream there.
Yeah, you better because how'd you react if my incel image board rated you?
Oh yeah,
Or
just
however the stream is raped. Yeah, whatever.
So I'm ended there. And for those of you who enjoyed the stream. And catch y'all next time.
Yep. Yep. See you around.
All right.
All right, we're not live anymore.